Hello, 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 and welcome to another weekly challenge video. This week's challenge is much harder than last week's, not gonna lie, but I did manage to crack 20K, and here's how I did it. Yeah. So I went with was become a fairly standard start with going for this mounting over here. There are a lot of things to optimize on this drawing, by the way, so feel free to be critical and help me figure out what can be improved. There are a couple of really obvious things that I'm going to redo next time, but this is the start. There's a potential. Okay, let's unfog or refog the world. So there's a potential for moving all these mountains, by the way. Oh, I guess I haven't actually looked at the board with y'all. So there are 6 tribes in total with myself and or ourselves. There are Samanti, Umaji, Frederick, all in this corner. Umaji dies, which honestly is pretty typical for Umaji in these games. There's a very empty corner over here. There's a village right here for us. And Polaris freezes Quetzalli for a long time. That's how it starts. This is a Varying Swordsman ruin. There's a Varying Swordsman ruin over here. Oh, if you guys didn't catch this, by the way, um, Umaji does an incredibly stupid thing where they get um a Varying Swordsman and then they don't kill the shaman, and so the shaman just converts it. It's incredibly stupid. And I don't know if there's a way to, you know, persuade them not to do that. Like if there's some weird arcane move order that helps Sumaji realize, oh, hey, I should kill the shaman right next to me. Kind of like how we manipulated Lux during last week's challenge. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything like that, but that's more experimentation than I can really do it at the moment. Okay, so anyway, with that in mind, let's go back to the unfog or fog screen. So I didn't unfog anything over here because my goal with this attempt was to get diplomacy before capture, and then we go fishing next for the explorer. So here we go, diplomacy. And then we go north and meet Polaris for 5 stars. And because we've unfogged this northern area, the explorer will go south. So I go ahead and get fishing and take the explorer, and I meet everybody except for Quetzalli. I tried in this run to give an embassy to everybody. We'll skip to this point. However, yeah, because I get to 16 stars after the explore. Ugh, okay, I get to 16 stars after this explore, and so I attempt giving Polaris, Samati, and Hudrick an embassy. However, in future runs, I want to try just this is a suggestion from Screalder, by the way. I want to give just Hudrick an embassy and then go meditation. That'll be, oh, what, 13 stars, leave 3 left over. So off of that, I would probably go either for a warrior and then some ports, or just save and then get an upgrade next turn. I haven't mathed it out yet, but Polaris hits me the turn after this one, and then Samanti gets big. However, we kill everybody in this run except for Quetzalli, which is a big flaw in this run. I like this opener, the diplomacy, and then explore turn 5, or honestly, even just like explore turn 5. I'm not sold on the text that I buy this time, but the turn 5 explorer does really well. So I think that will be a staple of this week's run. what to do besides that, not entirely sure yet. So send peace trees, give Quetzallia an embassy. Oh, this is something else I wanted to experiment with. It seems that me giving an embassy to Quetzalli provoked Polaris to attack me because they liked me all right before. So, like, if we actually look. Oh, this warrior should have gone south, by the way. My mistake. Okay. So, there, that bar, I'm checking this out on camera. Okay, we establish an embassy. No, they like me about the same, but they still go ahead and hit me. Okay. Yeah, if that bar had changed, then it would suggest to me that, like, it was me giving them an embassy. Although it could just be influencing them behind the, like, in the code. This ruin, by the way, is always a Varying Swordsman. I don't know if I said that. There's one over here that's always Varying Swordsman, and one over here that's always Varying Swordsman. This is the only 10-star one. There's a starfish here, or sorry, here, and like here. This tile of fog right there. And that's it as far as easy money goes. So this start is definitely a little bit slower, or a lot slower than last week's. I'm not sure that we're going to get to 25K this week. I can see like 23 to 24K being a pretty reasonable score. Yeah. So I'm just doing basic upgrade things. I go for a giant here, actually. I think it's extra. Neto suggested that, and I think I like that suggestion for quick kills. Although I don't really use this giant, so I might actually go for the giant just off the say. I have to pop a giant there to keep the say, and one right here, and this village over there because Huttrick resieges me. So I don't know if you caught that, but I went nav for the stars, and I got this dinghy, and then I send the dinghy over here. I land this warrior, and then with just the scout and warrior and dinghy, I'm able to siege and kill Polaris. This siege holds with the Varying Swordsman. I had both of these right lines right here, and just one scout gets the kill. Really convenient. Um, for whatever reason, in this run, Samati did not go for um Dumuxes. That's the word. Dumuxes. I'm not sure if that's because I gave them an embassy or if that's for some other reason. If they give you, or if they get Dumuxes, if you don't give them an embassy, then I think it's worth giving them an embassy because it's really obnoxious to try to kill them. Okay, here I use Altar of Peace and then use a couple other things pop. I siege this because I can. Um, I judge that to be more worth it than keeping the embassy on Hudrick. Although I think that Hudrick actually would have been my ally had I not killed them. But that's not really something I'm super worried about. Yeah. So here we can see that once Hudrick captures this say, Sameti only has this say left, which is kind of where empires go or die, I guess, in this game or this challenge. And so I just instead of dealing with all the um centipedes, I just siege this and kill it, and then all the centipedes get poofed. Poofed gone. So that's the Hudrick um rammer going off to get the starfish. Hudrick gets both of these other villages too in this run. Not sure if me sending an embassy to Polaris um caused them to not go for these west villages. that's something else that will need to be explored. Because I think, like, prima facie, the lying with one embassy and one or and meditation looks great and all, but it all depends on bot behavior too. Even the Polaris embassy might be worth it if they don't go for um more exploration if they get the embassy. So yeah, I pop a giant here just because I don't really have any units in position to deal with it. I went trade around turn like 13, 14. I mean, that helps a little bit, but it's not nearly as good as the last game. The most, the highest level markets I get are like 4, I think. I think I even get to level 5. Maybe there's an improvement there too, but honestly, this map doesn't seem very conducive to good markets. Maybe there's some in here. This area has the most potential for high market spots, I feel like this section right over here. Although I don't even think that this say can contribute or participate in it very much. So we'll see. Honestly, I guess maybe this one could, with an early board growth thing, getting like a sawmill over here. The thing is, with this isolated of spawn, it's really hard to get early kills and to manipulate the board growths and where boars are very easily. I think, actually, let's check again. I think that there's a ruin right there still. Yeah. So I think I could have maybe done a slight improvement by going for this ruin with the rider, although I don't know that I actually could have got the ruin. I'm not sure what this ruin is when it's still, when it's not prepared. When it's completely unfogged, it produces a Bearing Swordswing too, so I didn't bother going for it this time. But that's something worth checking out. Yeah. And then last turn I'm kind of proud of. Not this turn. This turn, or the turn before, I got this Mindbender, and then I forgot to actually break peace with Quetzali. I'm sure that there's some way to kill Quetzali, and I just didn't really go for it. And actually, I'm sure there's lots of easy ways to go for it, but I didn't deal with it this run. This is still my first good run. Okay, so yeah, just upgrades. I got all the tech, so I actually got all my monuments. Um, and then we get 20k score here by going across the line and upgrading a city and then chopping everything down. And I spent like a good 10 minutes calculating this, but chopping all these things actually is slightly worth it because we get this final park here. Unless every city with a park, except for this one, honestly, just grabbing this city would probably increase the score by a good 2 to 3k just by doing that. And that's it. So where I'll be working on the rest of the week to improve this is perhaps looking into the market spots on these 5 cities. I think that has potential. Messing with the tech buys on turn 4. I really like to explore on turn 5. That is the best explorer and best starts that I've seen on this map so far. And I played this challenge like I think this was my 5th time this week so far. And I've seen a couple of other people's runs. Um, that's the one I like best so far. There might be better ones. No arguments there. I like being able to get the early kill on Samantha. Well, relatively early. We killed it with the Bearing Swordsman, which worked out great. I think I like the embassy here for sure. And I like having embassy with Quetzali early. Ironically, they just didn't want to break peace with me because um they would die, even though they have a horrible relationship with me by the end. I think I definitely need to prioritize killing that. So opening markets over here and then killing Kitsali are probably going to be my next focuses. Anyway, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. That really helps out the channel and enables me to keep making videos about these challenges. If they help you out, please let me know with your feedback in the comments box, because then we can work on getting higher scores together. I like the collaborative aspect of these challenges. That's honestly one of my favorite parts about this new feature. So in the meantime, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Ciao for now.